This is Steve Hewlett, and I'm a doctor of pharmacy, and I am one of the co-owners of balancefitlifestyles.com. And today we're kind of in the middle of a series of small, short video clips that are kind of explaining type 2 diabetes and why we have type 2 diabetes and all the horrible things that happens to us because of type 2 diabetes. And in the last video, we were talking about how sugar is made up of two different molecules, glucose and fructose. And we talked about how fructose gets converted straight into triglycerides. So today I want to talk to you about triglycerides, what triglycerides are, and also our LDLs. When you go to your doctor to get your cholesterol checked, you get your LDL level. And so I'm going to explain to you what that is. So first, triglycerides. You hear the term triglycerides. And so I wanted to show you just a little picture of what triglycerides are. So this is what a triglyceride is. Okay? A triglyceride it's three fatty acids with a glycerol backbone, okay? So three fatty acids, that's why it's called a triglyceride, because there's three fatty acids with a glycerol backbone. And triglycerides actually are good. These aren't bad, it's just the number that we make. Because our body uses fat for everything in our body. There's two main fats that our body uses. It's free fatty acids and it's cholesterol. And both of these things are actually very good. They've been demonized for no reason whatsoever. Actually, dietary fat is very good for us. We use every single cell in our body. The cell membrane is made up of one of these fats. The other thing, a lot of the hormones that our body's made are made up of these fats. And as I talked about in an earlier video, fats are actually stored in all our subcutaneous tissue around our arms, around our legs, around our belly, just the subcutaneous tissue. And this is extremely important because this is the energy that we use for those times that we aren't eating, whether that time is 2 to 3 hours or whether that's 2 to 3 days. What we're supposed to be doing is utilizing the energy that's stored in our fat cells, and this is stored in this form of fatty acids. Now, so when something comes to our liver and it gets converted into fat, so glucose, excess glucose can get converted into fat, a very high percentage of fructose gets converted into fat, and these both get converted into fat by the order of triglycerides. So our liver has triglycerides and cholesterol in it, and we have to get that cholesterol, that fat, out of our liver and float it around to the rest of our body where it can be used for this making cell membranes or hormones or storage for energy or whatever our body needs to use this fat for. But you can't just dump food or fat straight into the body. So our liver has to come up with a way to transport this fat. And this is actually a picture from Ivor Cummings. And I really, really liked it. I think it made a big, it made an impression on me. But this is what our body does. These are called, what this is if you look in the cargo, this has cholesterol and it has triglycerides in it. And these are two forms of fat. And what that is, that's like a little ship. So our body takes the cholesterol and takes these triglycerides and it wraps a protein around it. So cholesterol and triglycerides together, that's called fat, and another name for fat is lipids. So when you have these lipids with a protein surrounding it, that's called a lipoprotein. And that's your LDLs that you talk about. So if you have a whole bunch of these triglycerides, then this is a very low density lipoprotein, or VLDL, if you get that checked when you go to your physician. If you have a small amount of triglycerides, then this is called a low density lipoprotein, or an LDL. Now, a couple things. They've told you that LDLs are bad for you, and that is not true, okay? LDLs are perfectly normal. This is how our body gets fat out of the liver and floated around to the rest of our body where it's needed, okay? The other thing, they call this your cholesterol. Your LDLs are cholesterol. And again, it's not really cholesterol. Cholesterol is just one of the things in the cargo, along with the triglycerides, and then it's the protein. That whole thing is called the LDL. Now, a couple things to realize is that the VLDL and the LDL, these are actually good. These are normal. This is what our body uses. However, there is a bad LDL. So there's good LDLs and there's bad LDLs. The bad LDLs, that's this one right here. That's this small, dense LDL, and that's why it's kind of red. And this is the one that wreaks havoc all around our bodies. And the important thing to realize is that these small, dense LDLs, the way these are produced is by the type of nutrition that we eat. So if we eat God-made food with real animal fat, real animal meat, real fruits, real vegetables. When our body takes this in, even if you take it in excess, this gets converted into the good cholesterol. Okay, or not the good cholesterol, but the good LDLs. That's the VLDLs and the LDLs. However, when you have a diet that's high in refined sugars and trans fats, which what we've already talked to in another video, when you have something that's high in trans fats and high in refined sugars, that is processed food. That's man-made food. That's the food that you'll find in boxes, bags, cans. This is the stuff that you have a label on it. These are the things that you want to stay away from because of these refined sugars and the trans fats. When these go to the liver, these increase your small, dense LDL concentration. And these are what's horrible, because these LDLs, what they'll do is these small, dense LDLs go around and they start tearing up all the blood vessels in your body. And this leads to organ failure and organ damage and death, early death. So in my next video, I'll explain to you exactly what these small, dense LDLs do to your body and why you need to do everything you can to stay away from processed food and not make these small, dense LDLs. So if you're interested, please stay tuned and see me on my next video.